Hi, I'm Bree from Grafa, and joining us up next is Tranchess. You're live with Grafa at Token 2049. We're super thrilled to be here today. The electricity in the air has been fire, and we're putting the spotlight on some of the industry leaders and innovators of the crypto space. Up next, we are thrilled to have our guest, Danny. Danny from Tranchess. How are you going, Danny?
Very well, thank you, and thanks for having me on Grafa.
Bravo, you're welcome. Danny, can you explain the two-way flow of RWA tokenization and how Tranchess' latest product, the TRBNB, is set to facilitate this convergence?
Sure. I think now what we have is a lot of times people are looking at tokenization from mainstream onto blockchain. Yeah. So that includes securities, that includes dollars, that includes also bonds. But it's also interesting to look at the other side of the direction, which is to bring what we have in blockchain on DeFi into the real world. And that's actually more exciting because the access for a lot of the treasuries is already well known. A lot of people are struggling to think like, okay, when I bring this on the on-chain, what kind of like a difference can I make? So when I'm taking the TRBNB into the real world, instantly accredited investors, funds, banks, accredited investors are already able to get access into BNB, but with high yield return. So what do I mean by that? It is the first time ever that we actually have a DeFi protocol, and in fact it's a series of DeFi going through Tranchess and able to enter into the real world through our partners, which includes Flowdesk, Metacom, as well as DGFT, which are licensed entities, regulated entities in Singapore. And if you today, you have an account in Singapore, you are trying to be coming into gaining some tokens, like BNB, this will be a great access for you. You don't have to go through the hassle of owning wallets. You don't have to go through the hassle of opening an exchange account. And you can trust that the partners that you work with will handle the money well for you. The money remains in the real world. You have your AUM in the real world. But yet you own a piece of crypto that gives you an attractive return.
That sounds very incredible, I must say. So Danny, in your view, what is a significant market gap in the RWA yields?
That's an interesting question. So maybe when we want to, instead of looking at the yield for a start, I think we have to look at why is there a need for tokenization of RWA. So I think a lot of the times when we talk about tokenization of RWA, we're actually looking to bring it into a 24/7 regime. So for example, like tokenized securities, everyone's talking about it, tokenized bonds. Actually, most of the time, these are only accessible by institutions and accredited investors. But when you actually tokenize it, you can fractionalize, make it smaller portion, and make it bite-sized for everyone. Obviously, this comes under the correct regulation, and it needs to be governed somehow. But it is possible to do it this way. And the other insight into this and why it's good is that you can do it 24/7, which is kind of like what we're lacking now. Because if you're doing foreign exchange, for example, the week ends New York 5 o'clock and starts 3 a.m. In Asia, which is 9 a.m. in Sydney, I believe.
And 3 a.m.
So that's when the duration of the market starts going to full stream. But in the weekend, there is almost a market gap. So you probably need to have, it's possible to have a tokenization solution for foreign exchange to make it 24/7. Now, again, we are also still looking at bringing to the real world assets into kind of on the blockchain, but perhaps we should be looking also at taking what is already available on DeFi, on blockchain into the real world. The yields can be higher, and where we've calculated on TRBNB, for example, to bring into the real world, is roughly about 10% based on BNB. So that's very attractive as compared to when you're looking at other assets, other kind of like major crypto tokens like Ethereum or actually BTC.
Well, can I ask then, can you tell us more more about RWA tokenization scene in Asia in particular, including developments on the regulatory and innovation fronts?
I think it's something that have caught on in the last 2 years, but truthfully in Singapore, Project Guardian and all this have been looking at tokenization for a very long time.
Yeah.
So it is not something new, but it has started to flourish. I think for one, definitely the acceleration of things is due to what we have seen in the US, and because of US, a lot of the other countries are also starting to step up. Singapore, on their part, has always been very pragmatic, and tokenization of RWA has always been a focus.
Yeah.
And what we can see now is that with obviously a global push and also more people looking into it, this thing is coming into fruition. As recent as the last 2 months, DBS has successfully brought a fund based on Ethereum staking into the real world. And you will have thought that, okay, this will be minimum 100K per pop, right?
Yeah.
But they have actually minimized per clip because it's on blockchain to just $1,000 to make sure that it's accessible and bite-sized. And I think this is what, as I've mentioned earlier, that what we can really look forward to tokenization in the long run. We can bring a lot of interesting assets, make it small, make it 24/7, make it accessible for everyone.
That sounds incredible, Danny. Super excited. Yeah, very excited. And we are going to keep an eye out and see where you headed into the future. Thank you for your time. We wish you, thank you, and we wish you all the best.
Thank you very much. I wish everyone all the best.
Thank you. You've been live with Danny from Tranchess and Grafa at Token 2049. For more news and interviews, head to grafa.com and download the Grafa app.